How do you work on the business and not in the business? That's a great question, and we're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by Savvy Cleaner Training, where we have a whole bunch of advanced training that we've been revising over the last couple of years, doing lots of beta testing, trying to bring to you the very best programs to help you grow your cleaning business. So we've got some new stuff coming up. Keep your ear to the grindstone because we're going to be making some announcements really soon. SavvyCleaner.com. All right, on to today's session, which is from a house cleaner, Janice Weaver, from Ottawa, Canada, and she has this question.
Hi, Angela. It's Janice Weaver up here in Canada, the Great White North. I have a question with regard to transitioning my company from strictly working with subcontractors and working in the business myself and just easing into working on the business versus in the business. Obviously, there will be a difference where I'm not bringing money into my own pocket because I'm going to be paying for more cleaning hours. So any suggestions, ideas, tips that you have regarding that kind of a transition from working in the business to on the business would be most appreciated. Thanks very much.
All right, Janice, that is an excellent question, and I love the fact that you're asking it now. If you start a house cleaning business, at some point you're probably going to want to expand. And if you start early in the game, you can template everything as you go. So how do you work on your business and not in your business? All right, there are lots of house cleaners that only ever work in their business. They're the ones that do all the bidding. They go out and they get all the jobs. They do all the marketing. They're the ones that run the flyers. They sit down, they do their own bookkeeping at night. They do their own marketing, their own social media. And they're actually the ones that go out and do all the cleaning. So if you decide that you want to expand your business and you want to hire other people and you want to start outsourcing some of those things, there are a couple of systems that you can create. I have a more extensive training program on that we can go over at another time. But the short version is this. Now, I love to keep everything really simple. So here's the simple version. I'm going to have you get 2 notebooks. And these are just simple notebooks that you pick up at the grocery store, the drugstore, the department store, anywhere that you find notebooks. All right, these have 70 sheets in them apiece. One is going to be your in the business notebook, and the other one is going to be your on the business notebook. Now, it's super simple, but here's the thing. In book number 1, you're going to make a list of everything that you do inside your business. And so what that might be is answering phone calls, returning emails, bidding jobs, whatever it is. Make 1 item per page. So you're going to fill up the entire notebook with 70 things that you do inside your business. All right, the reason I'm having you write 1 per page is because you're going to create a system for each of those items. Now, in book number 2, it's going to be an empty book for a minute, but in book number 2, you're going to write down all of the things that you do in the business that actually generate money. So for example, if bidding a job brings you money, it goes inside this book. And if cleaning houses brings you money, it goes inside this book. So these are all the things that you do in your business to keep the business afloat, but they don't directly bring you money. They're busy jobs. These are things like your marketing, hanging out in a Facebook group, and creating a sale for a Super Saturday sale or something like that. If it doesn't directly generate revenue, it goes inside this book. All right, now we'll talk about this book for just a minute because this is the book that we're going to start outsourcing stuff to. So let's say, for example, that you answer all of your own emails, but you decide that that's not the best use of your time because your time is better suited being directly in front of a customer closing the sales. Okay, so you would want to focus more on bidding the jobs and doing the job estimates and then hiring either a virtual assistant or an administrative assistant that could return your emails. So if on one of these pages it says return the emails, what you may want to do is make a list, a to-do list, that is going to allow you to outsource that task. And that might mean that you have 5 regular emails that you send to customers on a regular basis. So if you can write a script for those emails that your assistant can copy and paste and customize, or maybe you even have a piece of software that is going to import the customer's name or whatever it is, and that cut and paste thing, that would be on the to-do list for the page that says emails, right? So you're going to find a system for every single thing that you do in your business that is not the best use of your time. And the reason I say that is because at some point, it doesn't have to be today, it doesn't have to be this year, but at some point you're going to want to outsource the things in this book to someone else. All right, now, having said that, there are some things that I want you to pay attention to. It's easy to say, well, I don't want any part of the business, I just want to run the business. That will never happen. That will never happen because as human beings, when the person we report to stops working, we ourselves stop working. So there will always be a drive and a focus and a concentration and a motivation that has to come from you for all of the people that work underneath you that you manage. And so even if you hire someone and you give them the book of working in the business, even if they manage all of those tasks, you still have to manage them. And so the scenario is that I want you to learn the business first, and you have. I know that you've been in your business for about 8 years. So you want to make sure that you understand all the facets of the business, from the bookkeeping all the way down to what it takes to ask interview questions when you hire a new hire. I want you to know it all. And as entrepreneurs, we know it all. We wear all the hats. We fumble around and we learn by trial and error until we find our way. Once you find your way, template it. Template it and put it in the book of working in your business, so that at some moment, and I don't know when it is for you, but you will wake up one day and you will say, today is the day I outsource my emails. Okay, great. You have all the templates in place. You know what the 5 common emails are that you respond to for people. You know exactly what this task involves, and you know about how much you're willing to pay. Now, if it is an administrative assistant and you have several tasks that you've templated, you can go ahead and hire an administrative person, or you can outsource that one task to a virtual assistant. Now, I'm a huge fan of specifics for virtual assistants because there are people that are specialists, let's say in making social media ads. Only hire that person for social media ads. If you have something else that's very specific, like returning emails or returning phone calls, hire that virtual assistant for returning your emails or returning your phone calls. So you can have lots of virtual assistants. And that way, if one item in your book falls apart, the whole book doesn't fall apart, right? It's not one person doing all the tasks, but it's lots of people doing the tasks so that you don't have to do it all yourself. So I'm a huge fan of outsourcing, but I'm an even bigger fan of learning how to do the tasks yourself first. Once you know how to do it, you know what's involved, you know about how long it takes, you know about how much you're willing to pay, and you know about how much time it's going to free up for you to go do other things that are in the other book that actually generate the money. So that would be my quick system for getting started. Because if you don't have a map, you don't know where you're going. And so it is crucial that you know, number one, in your business, how much money you're bringing in. And number 2, you know how you're bringing it in. And then number 3, you know what tasks have nothing to do with directly the money that you're bringing in. Focus on the things that generate the resources and figure out a way to template and then outsource the other things that you're not so good at, or it's not the best use of your time, or it doesn't generate money in a direct way. Get rid of those things. And then always be on hand in case something falls through the cracks. And it happens. There will be a family emergency of somebody. And so you might be working on your business this week, and you may have to dive back in and grab a page out of the book and say, oh, this week, so-and-so is out, your virtual assistant. I'm going to have to return all my own emails this week. And so you may have to dive back into that task, which will keep your skills sharp. But it will also allow the whole system of your business to run smoothly when you're not there. Now, the work on your business, not in your business, is a concept that was introduced by Michael Gerber in The E-Myth. And that's a fantastic book that I recommend that you read because it will give you some clues as to what you can do next in order to keep your machine a well-oiled machine and keep your business afloat, even after you take a couple of steps back and you yourself are not wearing all the hats and doing all the work. Alrighty, that's my 2 cents for today. That's just in a nutshell. And we'll do more later. So take care. Have a great week, you guys. And until I see you again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.